Hi everyone, welcome to week 4. Today we're going to be going over some challenges for the lessons that we've been learning so far. And if you remember last week, to start off with, we needed to find our program, right? Our application. So to find our application easily, you can see I already have it up here. But if you don't see it up there, you can actually just go and type in Word. You see, if I type down here in this search box down here, in the Windows search area, if we type in Word, it narrows down the applications in your computer down to just Word. You see that? And WordPad, because that also has the name Word in it. So at this point, what we can do is we can either launch the application by left-clicking on it. And remember, just like before, if we want, we can right-click on it to bring up options. Remember, left-click, select something, and right-click will bring up options. And we can do this option here that says Pin to Taskbar. So pinning to taskbar is going to add it to these icons down here. We went over this briefly, but a little review never hurts. So you can see I already pinned PowerPoint down here. So if I pin this to the taskbar, you see how it dumps Word down here too now, right here. So that's how you pin something to the taskbar. But here, I'm going to go ahead and launch the program by left-clicking on it. And for this, if we look at the challenge instructions, we're going to go ahead and follow those here in just a moment. Now, for me, I like to have these things, my screen, in a half and half format. So depending on your version of Windows, remember, you can either click and drag this window and your mouse pointer to the left here, and you'll see it turns gray for a second. You can just let it go when it gets to that point. So again, you can click on this little bar at the top and then drag it, left click once, hold it down, drag it to the left. You'll see this gray area pop up, or maybe an outline of a square of some sort, like how you're seeing here. Right when you see that, you can let go and it'll be, it'll put itself in a half and half position with the instructions that I already have set up. You can also, depending on your version of Windows, you can just hover over this little maximize button. Remember, this one's the maximize option. And then we get these orientations. And if we select this one, this puts it on the left-hand side. Bam, so it snaps right there to our left-hand side. Okay, so this makes it easier when we're going through these lessons. We can have our instructions on one side, or Canvas on one side with the instructions, and our document on the other side. So it makes it very easy for us to navigate this. So for this particular challenge, we're going to go and open Word 2016, which we did, and mine is 365, so it's going to be a little bit different than yours. If you do it at home and you use the Windows at Home, the Windows Microsoft Word that you've downloaded from the school at home, that's also going to be Microsoft 365, so you would be following what I'm doing exactly. But if you're not using Microsoft 365, then just follow the instructions. It'll go exactly the same way. It's just a slight deviation, that's all. And I'll show you that as we go through this, just in case you guys have that. So what we're going to do is, it says to open Word 2016 and create a blank document. So if we look up here, it's already highlighted for us. It says blank document. So we're going to go ahead and left click on this. I'm going to left click on it once. Now it says to change the ribbon display options to show tabs. Now this is the portion where it's a little bit different than 2016. So in 2016, normally it'd be up here, right? You'd have an icon up here like in your instructions. But in 365 for me, it's just here. So I have to go and click here and choose show tabs only, okay? And you'll see the same behavior happen on yours. So once we do this, we're going to go ahead and see that the ribbons disappeared, right? If we click on any of these options, the ribbon then reappears. You may ask yourself, why do we want this? Why do we want to do this? And the reason for that is, for some computers, maybe you have a 14-inch screen or a smaller screen, like a very small laptop screen. You need to take advantage of as much screen real estate as possible, right? So you just weigh whether having the ribbon all the time is worth losing that little bit of screen real estate. But if you're like me, and you have like, you do this on my big screen usually, then screen real estate is not an issue, right? But this is something we want to do. So again, what you do, if I go back here and do it one more time. So we're at this orientation here, showing our ribbon and our tabs up here. If we click, well, for you guys, you'll click up here. Unless you have Microsoft 365, you'll click here and do show tabs only, and it gives us this kind of orientation. Okay. Next step says, using the customized quick access toolbar, add new, quick print, and spelling and grammar. Okay. So I'm unsure if this is going to be like this for you guys, but I know that Microsoft did have an update on my version of Word, and now if we click on this, we have the new. So this is your quick access toolbar. Lets you customize this area up here, all your quick access tools here. So we can go ahead and customize this by clicking on new, and we can click on quick print. Where did that go? Right there. And we also have, we're going to be looking for, hey, where's spelling and grammar? Now in 2016, I'm not sure if they've done this yet, but there was an update that basically removed with 365, where it replaced the spelling and grammar option with editor. It's a more advanced spelling and grammar tool. But for you, you may still have the spelling and grammar option. So if you have the spelling and grammar option, then select that one. If you have editor, select that one. I'm going to select editor. Now it says, in the tell me bar, type shape and press enter. So you're just going to type shape up there. Now I always do all of your lessons before I go over this with you. So you can tell I've already typed shape in here before. But for mine, I have to type shapes for whatever reason. So if I just type shape, then it gives me a bunch of different other options, right? For yours, I believe that shape works just fine. But for me, I have to type shapes. And we press enter. And now what it does is it gives us these options. It tells us, hey, what kind of shape do you want to put in here? So in our example, they have a little heart there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the heart here. So it says choose a shape from the menu and double click anywhere on your document. So I'm clicking there, and I double clicked on my my Word document here, and it put a little heart there. You see that? Now what we also want to do is, because we can't do certain things unless we can see the ruler. So in order to display the ruler, we need to click on view, and you'll notice here I don't see my ruler, any option to display the ruler. The reason for that is right now I increased my, or decreased my resolution, I should say, so that everything's bigger so you guys can see everything better. So my screen's a little bit more squished. So what we can do is I can go ahead and click here. Actually, let me just do this. So if I increase the size, you'll see when I go to view, now I have these options. You see that? Before, if I moved over here and brought it to the side, we don't see that ruler option here, right? So you can see it if you see how it has like a little picture of a ruler. In this instance, I'd have to go ahead and click on this little area here, and it gives me the option of ruler. But if you increase the size, it gives us these options already. You see ruler, grid lines, and navigation pane. This is in the show area, right? Our command groups, if we want to use the correct wording there. Click on view, click on ruler, and you see there, now we have this ruler up here and down the side. So we'll be able to use that a little bit later once we get into some of our other lessons. Okay. So now we want to zoom the document to 120%. Now our lesson talked about this zoom tool. We can drag it if we want, drag it around, and you see the number down here increases Right now it's 148%, 260%, and whatnot, right? This is 100%. If you click on the plus symbol on the, or the minus symbol on to the left or the right of it, it goes ahead and increases that by about 10%. You see 10%? So if I click it twice, it takes me to 120%. So it allows you to be a little bit more accurate, right? And another way you can do that too is if you just double click on this 100 down here, you can go and either choose one of these percentage amounts, or we can type in an exact percent here. Okay, just go in there and I can just type 20, right? Now we're at 120%. That's how we do that. Now, finally, it wants us to change our document view to web layout. So if you remember from our lesson, these items down here are a quick way to access these layouts, right? So we have the read mode, we have the print layout, and we have the web layout. Okay, so we can click on web layout down here, and you notice the screen looks much different because it's mimicking what we'd see if it was on a website. Okay. So now, once we're done, we should get to this screen, and our page should look like this now, and it does. You see that? We don't see those handles because I don't have that clicked, but now it looks exactly the same. Okay, so now, last step says, change the ribbon display options back to show tabs and commands. So for me, yours will have that little icon up here, but for me, I have to click on this and go to always show ribbon, and you'll notice it pushes this down a bit. That's why sometimes you need to hide the ribbon if you are on a smaller screen. And change the document view back to print layout. So we're going back to our print layout, which is this one. And remember, you can move over these things, and as you hover over them, it'll give you a tooltip of what these things are. Okay, so that one's print layout. I click on that, and we can now see our ruler on the side, and it goes back to that old orientation. Okay, and that's all there is to it. So that's our first challenge, and in just a bit we'll be doing our second one.